Welcome to the Explainer. So today we're unlocking one of the most incredible and honestly kind of misunderstood tools your body actually has for conception. We're going to map out a totally cost-free, natural way to pinpoint your exact fertile window just by tracking your cervical mucus. You don't need expensive gadgets for this. It's really all about learning the language of your own biology. Okay, let's take a quick look at our agenda for today's masterclass. We'll cover your body's natural map, the 4 stages of mucus, finding your fertile window, the power of 3, and finally, when to see a doctor. We're going to go step by step and completely decode your body's signals. All right, jumping right into section 1, your body's natural map and hormones in action. This fluid produced right by your cervix is unbelievably dynamic. It's constantly changing its consistency based entirely on the push and pull of your main hormones, estrogen and progesterone. I mean, it is literally a real-time readout of what's happening in your hormonal landscape. Now, to actually read this map, you've got to know how to check it, right? And the best part, absolutely zero special equipment is needed. It's just a simple 4-step process. Step 1, just wipe with toilet paper before you urinate. Step 2, check the sensation. Like, does it feel dry, smooth, or actively slippery? Step 3, look at the properties of the secretion itself. Is it thick, creamy, or really stretchy? And finally, step 4, and honestly, this is a big one. You've got to distinguish it from other fluids to make sure you're getting an accurate read. And distinguishing those fluids is absolutely foundational. You definitely don't want to confuse cervical mucus with arousal fluid or semen. Arousal fluid is usually super watery, and it just disappears quickly. But fertile cervical mucus, that's much more substantial. It actually holds its shape and is way stretchier. So keeping that difference in mind is key to tracking correctly. Okay, moving right along to section 2, the 4 stages of mucus and the path to ovulation. As your cycle progresses, your body's natural map goes through 4 really distinct sequential stages. This is where the magic actually happens as your body preps the perfect environment for conception. So, charting this out, you're generally going to start at stage 1, which is type 1 mucus. This is characterized by a completely dry sensation, no visible secretions at all. Then moving forward, you hit stage 2, or type 2, which feels a bit damp and smooth, but still without much to see. Now, as estrogen really starts surging, we hit stage 3, type 3. The mucus here gets thick, creamy, or sticky. And finally, the main event, stage 4, type 4 mucus. This is the ovulatory stage. It signals absolute peak fertility, and the whole sensation shifts to feeling wet and actively slippery. Which brings us to this super famous description. When we're talking about type 4 mucus, the absolutely crucial visual cue you're looking for is this: clear, stretchy, raw egg whites. Now, why is that specific consistency such a game changer? Well, because it acts as a biological superhighway. That wet, slippery texture literally helps sperm travel super easily and efficiently right to the egg. All right, so we know what we're looking for. Let's shift gears to section 3, finding your fertile window, because timing really is everything here. Identifying the mucus is great, but knowing how to use those fluid stages to navigate the actual timing of conception, that's the ultimate goal of this explainer. Let's start with a bit of a biological reality check. An egg only lives for about 24 hours after it's released. Just 24 hours. That is a crazy short lifespan. And when you look at that tiny window, the pressure to get the timing perfectly right to feel, well, pretty overwhelming. But here is the absolute most fascinating number: 5. While the egg only survives for 24 hours, fertile type 4 mucus acts as a literal biological life support system. It can keep sperm alive inside your body for up to 5 days. That totally changes the game, right? It means your fertile window isn't just the single day ovulation happens, it includes the whole 5 days leading up to it, perfectly supported by that fertile mucus. And this leads us to a massive misconception we've got to clear up about your peak day. In a fertility awareness world, your peak day is the last day you observe type 4 or slippery mucus. It is absolutely not the first day that stretchy stuff shows up. Ovulation actually usually happens within 24 to 48 hours after this peak day. So tracking until that slippery sensation completely stops, that's your key to pinpointing when the egg actually dropped. Which segues perfectly into section 4, the power of 3, and building your complete cycle map. Cervical mucus is a powerhouse guide on its own, for sure. But when you combine it with a couple of other tracking methods, you build the ultimate foolproof tracking team. Think of these three methods as a specialized team where everyone has a specific job. First up, cervical mucus. This is your early warning system. You use it to spot the start of your fertile window because it alerts you that ovulation is coming way earlier than strips ever could. Next, ovulation strips, or LH strips. These are your peak pinpointers. They detect the hormone surge right before the egg releases, which helps you nail down that exact 1 to 2 day window. And finally, basal body temperature, or BBT. This is your confirmation tool. It's the gold standard for looking back and confirming that, yep, the finish line was crossed and ovulation definitely happened. Stop the start with mucus, find the peak with strips, confirm the finish with BBT. Now, this whole dynamic creates a really fascinating hormonal clash. You should never ever have egg white mucus and a high BBT temperature on the exact same day. Why? While egg white mucus means estrogen is dominating, your body is preparing for the egg. That a high BBT temperature means progesterone is dominating, which tells us ovulation has already passed and your body is aggressively drawing things up. If you're seeing both at once, something is definitely off in the tracking. So let's look at section 5, when to see a doctor, and some basic troubleshooting. It's so important to know how to navigate roadblocks on this natural map, and even more importantly, knowing when that map is pointing to a potential medical issue. First off, let's talk about some daily factors that can mess with your readings by drying out your mucus. Things like everyday stress, simple dehydration, and even common over-the-counter allergy meds can really reduce your secretions. But get this ironic twist. Clomid, which is a stimulating fertility drug, can actually have a drying effect on cervical mucus, so it can literally make it harder to track your fertility, even while the drug is trying to make you fertile. Wild, right? So the absolutely crucial point here is knowing your red flags. Normal mucus should never be itchy, foul-snowing, or have a yellow or green color. Plus, if you've been tracking for several months and you consistently never see a clear peak day, or you consistently see no BBT rise to confirm ovulation, that's your cue to stop stressing and just go consult a doctor. Looking out for these signs helps professionals easily rule out infections or underlying hormonal imbalances. Wow, okay, we've covered a lot of ground today, completely turning a natural bodily function into a highly strategic map for conception. So I want to leave you with this to think about. How will you integrate this natural map with BBT and ovulation strips in your own journey? To really master those other two tools, be sure to check out our other dedicated explainers on basal body temperature and ovulation strips to round out your ultimate tracking toolkit. Until then, keep paying attention to what your body is telling you.